Hello folks, today I'll be showing you a build for the Dwarven Slayer for Bragi Axebiter. This build centers around combining the heroic version of Oath to Oath and using this together with Mounties Wrath, Last Bastion and Strike of the Anvil. Of course, as any build would need it, Ancestor's Gift is included. As for my energy generator, I've decided to go for the Axe. Axe Throw is great because it's ranged attack and this could be very handy on bosses. We're also using the Fire Aura from the set you're seeing here. This is the Grimnir set and it provides you this Fire Aura that you're seeing around me. So I'll show you some of the pieces I'm using and what bonuses I'm stacking on them in a moment. First, let's show you the skills and then the god tree, the god skills tree. Then let's show you the gear afterwards, and in the end I'll top it off with a bit of gameplay and a boss fight for the map I'm running. Of course, this map was recorded on Chaos 5, as well as the end of map boss. This may probably not be the best version of this build, but I'll mention some other options and just to see which bonuses I'm lacking in my gear, but I'd really like to have so I can shape up the build more. So as I mentioned, the first skill we're using is Axe Throw. It's a good long-range attack, perfect for gaining energy. We don't need energy, but we need it because it's ranged. For the next skill I've taken Mountain's Wrath Superior. And I've taken this skill because it gives us a chance to stun the enemies, which is a good synergy with this skill, Code to Oath, Heroic. We're using the Heroic version. As you can see, there's a huge secondary damage to stunned enemies. We're getting this Heroic version from the set we're using, so it is a good synergy. Then we're using Strike the Anvil. It's a skill we're spamming. The cooldown I'm getting is between 2 and 3 seconds depending on what bonuses I have. So we're using the master version. Then the Ancestor's Call, perfect skill for every build, invulnerability and spamming skills without energy cost if you're using energy skills. Then Last Bastion Mastered. Here this skill I'm I'm using currently the third version, but it's probably better to use the second version because you get healing regardless of whether there's bleeding enemies or no bleeding enemies around you. So you could do that, and it would actually even give you some more skill points to work with. And alternatively, you can take the set that makes this skill heroic. So Spite Smite, extra damage to enemies when they're on low HP. You could either take the 30 damage when the enemies are under 30% HP, or the one that deals less damage when the enemies are under 40% HP. Then we're using Body Count Superior. It's a good skill, another damage increase for us. Conditional, of course. So this is nice when doing some champion spamming. Dead Wall Master, this is another good skill. And in a moment I'll show you some other options in case you wanna work on something with bleeding. So this is a good skill, it's worth taking either on the second level if you want some HP regeneration and damage, or on the third version. Then we have Deep Gashes Mastered, not a bad skill. If you want to use it, feel free to experiment, make the build your own. Then the other skills might be probably good, you could try experimenting, but those ones I think were the highlights. Now for the God tree. As you can see in here, I've taken everything in regards to cooldown reduction. You can see 2%, then another 2% here, and then another 2% here, and that makes it 8 with this one here, and then another 10% there. Of course, I also took a note that removes 5% cooldown reduction, which you can not take if you don't need that armor piercing. I just put those 3 skill points here, whereas if you want more damage and crit damage you could put them there. It's also a good option, or alternatively you can try and look around the other empty nodes to spend those skill points on something that you might think is better. I kind of want to try later removing those when I have enough fragments to reset and just to put them in the crit damage pathway. So, as you see, Ancestor's Gift is taken, of course, just on level 1. I don't think I need it for this build on level 2 or 3. Then you see all the other god skills I've shown in the build taken here, and you kind of get the idea about what we've taken and why. So now, let's move on to showing you the gear sets, the gear items I've picked, and some suggestions of how my items could be better, what you would want in your build. So for the set, as you see, I'm using Grimnir's Herald. Another option would be the set for Last Bastion, the undefeated set. And due to the nature of the build, I'd suggest strongly and heavily stacking cooldown reduction and crit hit chance. And when you can, also crit hit damage, but the major factors would be cooldown reduction, crit hit chance, and the third one in terms of importance should be crit damage. You don't need energy, you don't need cost reduction, you need just those 3 stats, and HP of course and damage. For the weapons you can see I'm using the Bloodthirsty one. It's a good bonus damage that you can get. Last Fight is also a good choice. Victor's Tribute, which I can show you, is a good choice. I couldn't find a screenshot somewhere of that, and I accidentally deleted and sold mine. As my second axe, I'm using Heartseeker, and this is something that I believe really makes the build shine. This extra 200% crit damage. But of course, the Last Fight also gives you 100% crit damage at the cost of a bit of energy regen penalty, so it's not bad. Fiery Ring of Tori, very good cooldown reduction ring, just to make sure you pop your heroic skill more often and the mountain skill more often. Siegebreaker ring, very good choice for extra damage. Of course, there's other options, as you can see in a moment. Here I'm gonna show you Insulation Ring is not bad to get some extra health restored. You don't need energy, but HP is always welcome. And then there's the Gromril Ring. If you need extra damage reduction, that is a very good choice, as long as you have suitable stats. I'm kind of using those two I showed you because I have the best stats on those, and they actually fit my build. As for the pendant, of course, whatever you have good stats on, I'm using damage 1, but you could use damage reduction 1, or you could use something with cooldown reduction, whatever you think you need more. Just make sure to, if you can get some cooldown reduction from one of the items, be it a weapon or a ring or something like that. I'd suggest not taking it from a weapon, but from something else like a ring or a pendant. But yeah, that's kind of it for the items, for the gear. Now I can show you quickly what I use in regards to the blessings. I'm using the crit chance blessing with the rest in damage. This is what was used when recording this video, but if you want more HP you can sacrifice some damage for it, or something else that you think is better. Now for some gameplay, a boss fight, you can see I'm not doing as much damage as you might want, and that's probably because I'm lacking some crit damage. I kind of got the crit chance high enough above 30, so that's okay. I'm doing crits, but probably I should be doing some more crits and have some more crit damage when the build is finalized with the ideal stats. Mostly my weapons are kind of messed up and my accessories without the best possible modifiers I can get on them. But you can see it's kind of going. spam some AoEs, use your invulnerability when needed, and probably it's best to use the invulnerability before using Mountain's Wrath. And you can try to stun the enemy and then use the extra heroic skill for extra damage to stunt. You can always use Bastion's skill for extra healing if it's at level 2. I was using level 3, I forgot to change it before the recording, so I made it kinda harder on myself, but it was still a smooth fight. So that's kind of it for this build. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate any shares, subscribes, likes, whatever. And if you have anything to tell me, just leave a comment. I would be quick to reply as soon as I am online. Again guys, thank you, keep it cool, and until next time.